Welcome to Xfinity Sports Extra. The 2017 NFL Draft is over. The Broncos ended it with the last overall pick in the 7th round. Quarterback Chad Kelly from Ole Miss, who was at home on the couch. Oh, boy, that's not a good feeling. Would have been a much higher pick without all the injuries and character issues. And when his name was finally called by the Broncos, joy and relief. A chance for Chad to maybe overcome a checkered past and make something good out of this opportunity. So he's this year's Mr. Irrelevant. Last player picked, which means he'll be treated to an entire week of festivities this summer in Newport Beach, a banquet at the Balboa Bay Resort, get a trophy, a parade on Balboa Island, a trip to Disneyland, and he'll be a VIP guest at a Major League Baseball game. All righty then, from Mr. Irrelevant to the two most relevant people on local sports TV, or at least on the set tonight. Right here, Denver 7 Broncos insider Troy Rink and ESPN superstar Woody Page. Gentlemen, everybody in Broncos country knows pretty much who the Broncos drafted by now. They've seen the list. It's online at thedenverchannel.com. Let's grade the paper, shall we, Troy? What's your grade for the Broncos draft?
Well, I give them a solid B, and here's why. They got foundational pieces. This is what they needed, Lionel. They need guys who can come in and contribute. They don't have to be stars. Again, the key is Garrett Bowles at left tackle. We told you last week that's the direction they were leaning. He has to start. We've said, oh, they don't have the left tackle starting. They have to have it now. If he's not starting, Woody, they're in trouble. But they got basically a slot receiver. They got a kick and punt returner. I like what they did in this draft, but it all hinges really on Bowles.
Well, I'd like to give him an incomplete because that's what I got every semester in college. But I will go with you. I gave it a B grade after the weekend because I think Garrett Bowles is going to be the starting left tackle. As you talked about, I think they found in Henderson their slot receiver for the next 4 or 5 years. I think they have gotten several kick returners. They've got several Swiss Army knives. They didn't get the guy they were looking for, you know, McCaffrey.
Right.
But they got like 15 guys to fill the roles of McCaffrey. So overall, I think when you look at Jake Butt going to probably not be playing, despite what they say August, September, I think it'll be later in the year. I think it overall is a good draft, not one of the best in the NFL.
Well, incomplete is always, you don't know how these guys are going to play.
That's the problem.
So who knows how good the draft was. But you guys just talked about it. The biggest need was left tackle, and the Broncos attacked that in round 1 on Thursday. They picked Garrett Bowles from Utah, number 20. Woody said from day one, Bowles was the pick. Troy said the day before the draft that sources told him Bowles was the guy. And there he was at Dove Valley on Friday with his son Kingston and his family. And Troy actually sat down one-on-one with Garrett. You saw that already. And found out his mentality, his approach, his no-nonsense attitude. That's something the Broncos love.
I play with an edge up front, man. I don't like guys push me around. I protect my quarterback with all my heart. I protect my running back, you know, open up lanes for him to score. And my quarterback to sit back there with a comfortable pocket and, you know, zing the ball for us to go win Super Bowls and us to win big games. And that's what I plan on doing. I'm a finisher. I love to come and punch people in the mouth and drive them to the ground. So, you know, it's going to be fun battling with my teammates until I can play a team with a different color.
Geez, what a job where you get paid to punch people in the mouth and knock them down in the dirt. That's great. Look, guys, we said it. Woody, the Broncos starting left tackle was not on the roster as much as they said Sombrilo and Stevenson and all this. Now the starting left tackle is in the roster. From day one, he's the guy.
Everybody's been hearing the story the last few days. When I talked to him a couple of weeks before the Combine for the first time, because I saw he had an association with Colorado, having gotten his a Mormon mission here, and I thought this is the guy because he does have that toughness that they're looking for. He is a good guy despite some of the issues he had as a miscreant when he was a kid, and I just felt like this was the guy that could come in from the very beginning and start for them at left tackle. When he greeted me, because we had talked, right. He said, "It must have been a sign from God." I said, "I think it was a sign from John Elway."
Right.
And he said, "Well, that too, Mr. Elway." And Mr. Elway had made him his choice over Reuben Foster and a bunch of other guys.
Yep.
Well, in the case of Bulls, what I admire about him is he's learned from his past mistakes. He's also, what's interesting, Lionel, they say he might be a little undersized. And I'm telling you, if you're standing next to him, the idea that this guy is undersized is just, I can't even fathom. I mean, he is, basically 6'5", 300 pounds. I think he's going to put on some weight, but I love his attitude.
All business.
He's a finisher. I mean, it's like a WWE wrestler. You got to have a move that ends it, Woody. He is a guy that can end it. I like his chances of starting from jump.
All right, well, let's now go from first to last and back to Chad Kelly. Great talent, 6,800 yards, 50 touchdowns in 2 seasons at Ole Miss. He reminds me of Brett Favre. Makes plays, physical tools to get it done. Potential on the field is great. The Broncos said they were glad to see him still available with that last pick. But there's the off-field history. October 2016, Chad ran onto the field at his little brother's high school game and joined a brawl. Chad also charged with assault and harassment after a bar fight in Buffalo. Kicked out of Clemson for squabbling with coaches. But if that can be resolved, this could be the pick of the draft.
He beat Bama twice. That's tough to do, as a college quarterback. He's a tough guy. He's smart. He's made some childish mistakes in the past, but he's learned from those things. So I'm comfortable with him.
There's been some history there, but we felt comfortable that Chad understands what he's been through and is ready to take this step and realizes the step that he's taken. It's got to be it's different than it was when he was in college.
All right, when they made the pick, Mike Mayock of NFL Network said, "Great pick if you take out the medical and the character. He's a first or second round quarterback all day long." Troy, did the Broncos just draft the quarterback of the future here?
Well, not the near future. He's not going to come in and start this year. He had a wrist injury that it required surgery, so they don't even think he's going to be ready until August, Lionel. So he's not going to compete, at least not right away. But the idea that he could start in the NFL, that is believable. I mean, I watched him beat Alabama. I watched him beat LSU. Woody, I watched him beat Auburn. He has NFL tools. Has he matured enough? He's been humbled by this process, so you'd like to think that he has something to prove, but I don't see it this year.
Great athlete. He would be the first Denver Broncos quarterback from Ole Miss, and you're thinking one of the Mannings. No, it was Norris Weiss who followed Craig Morton as a starter. He is a great athlete. We saw that in those games that he played in the Southeastern Conference. $10 million arm, 10-cent mind up until now. So he has got to straighten his life out. I see him as a guy that they'll keep on the active roster but deactivate him every week.